Hi guys, today we're going to be working on drawing and using oil pastels with poppies. These are the big, beautiful orange poppies that Georgia O'Keeffe did a lot of famous artwork around, and we are going to start with drawing them and then go back and use the pastels. This is kind of what we're going for, but I'm going to make it bigger because I want it to take up the whole space of the page so it really makes a statement. The colors I'm using today are light yellow, regular yellow, orange, and red. And then for the center, the stain in the middle part, I'm going to use light purple, dark purple, and pink. More of an indigo than a dark purple. But anyway, so let's get started. So the first step that I did was make the center. And I'm going to make the center pretty large size because I want this thing to take up the whole page and even maybe go off the page. You're not going to see the whole entirety of this center eventually because some of the petals will overlap it. So don't draw it too dark because we're going to have these little pieces that overlap in a minute. Okay, so that's how I would start that. And then find the approximate center. And then you're going to see that these lines kind of come out and then they go down, almost to show like that it's rounded and it has a curve to it. So I'm going to go around and do that all the way around. You'll notice that when it starts to get to the right side, you would want to naturally kind of curve it the opposite direction now to make sure that it's going down towards the side, okay? So then we have these seed pod things on the top that we're going to draw. And you really can just kind of put them in the center. I used to love, when I was little, my grandparents had poppies all the time, and I remember when they were done and all that was left was this seed pod, we'd draw faces on them and pretend that they were characters with crazy hair, and this was the crazy hair. And you can leave that there if you want, or you can kind of erase that line in the middle. It's up to you. You can kind of leave it there to use for shading and different things. Okay, so there's our center. Eventually we're going to have this piece around it with the little extra filaments and anthers right here, but I'm going to wait to do that till after I draw the leaf. So the first leaf I'm going to draw is this one right here. And so it is going to overlap a little bit. So I'm just going to draw real light at first. I'm going to start about the middle of the bottom of this and kind of curve up towards it and then away. And what we're going to do basically is make ruffles. So we're going to make 3 ruffles. Like that. And then I'm going to go down a little bit and up. And then over here. Little kind of an S right there. And then I'm going to make some more squiggles. So I know this is an awkward shape to just randomly do, but if you can remember that you're going to do 3 crests or 3 like waves near the center, and then we're going to go down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, and out like an ear, down into an S, up a little bit, down, and over, and you can make it as squiggly as you want, really. So this is the bottom of a second petal. We started with this petal, and now we go to this one, and this one kind of goes under like that. We're going to start seeing what I've heard called drips, and it looks like drips coming off of this line, but it's to show where the petal kind of drips forward, like it's falling over like that. So I have some drips there. Okay, and then I might do another set of drips. Where's my S? There's my S. So right here, this is going to be another set of drips coming off of this. Okay, so we've kind of done this part right here. Now I'm going to go in and add the lines that make it look like ruffles. Okay, so the second point in, the middle point, you're going to kind of draw a line downward from that to show that that is the inside of the fold and it's going down. You can see that side of the flower. And then the same thing over here, I'm going to go kind of down from that crest again to show that the wave goes out, the flower goes out that far. Then on the inside, we're going to do another line from the inner crest, kind of in like that. We're starting to see those ruffles now. And the other inner crest, I'm going to take that one kind of all the way down. Oops, and I forgot there's another line right there. Missed it. So you can take that second, or that top crest, inner crest, down all the way to the bottom. Okay. Alright, now on this back part where we curved down, I'm going to do a line coming down from there. Let's see. I'm going to do two lines that kind of intersect right there from this point, and then a third line that comes over and intersects, kind of like that. And then I might do, I don't know, I think I'm just going to add another line right there. Okay, so we got the basic drips right there. This petal right here is done. So the next petal I think I'm going to do is this. Actually, we probably should start with this inner one. So we're going to start with that inner petal right here. So that one is going to overlap a little bit. So you're going to start about midway through this bottom piece right here and go up towards that rounded center stamen, and then you're going to curve in a little bit and give it kind of a circular nose right there. It's overlapping. So that's the first crest, and go in, out for another crest, in, and this one's kind of straight, I noticed. Some of the edges are straight. In for another one, and out again. And it doesn't matter if yours looks exactly like mine or not. Oops, but I do think I need to take it out a little bit taller. Okay. There's a line right there, and a new petal's kind of starting right here, so I've started a new petal with some different waves, in and out, and in and out, until this one hits this point right here where we had the three intersecting lines. Kind of crazy looking, aren't they? And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to do a point here on this big ghostly looking squiggle, and I'm going to do some more crests in and out until it meets up here. And then we'll do this big one on the outside. Out, in, out, in, out, to about here. And then we have a line coming, kind of a straight line coming from midpoint down at the bottom, about here. That's going to go, really you could take it all the way to the top of this flatter one, like that. And then from here, on this outer point where I stopped, we're going to have another petal that kind of starts up from this bottom line and goes out. In, out, in, out, in, just wavy. Okay, we want this line to almost hit this line right here that has that goes all the way over here. But we're just gonna come down and attach it right there. Okay, so the good news is we've got most of the outer layers of these petals done. Now we gotta do the details. So we're going to show the ruffles, and this is how you would do ruffles on like a ballerina skirt and stuff like that too. Wherever there's a point on the outside, you're going to bring down kind of a curved line to show that side of the petal folding in. Well, now there's a fold on the inside that you can see, so we got to take that line down from the point on the inside. I'm going to connect it to this middle part. So the inside lines can go down and the outside lines can go a little curved to the outside like that. So I'm going to go through here and just add some more detailed lines to show the creases. They're such a fragile flower. They're really thin and remind me of wrapping paper, like tissue paper. Just adding some extra lines for character here. Okay, got that one. Okay, there, outer one. And erase all the places I overlapped. So inside lines on that point, outside lines on that point. That's actually kind of like that. Okay. Forgot these lines. So these inside points are going to go down to that bottom line. And then the outside points are going to go kind of down and out. See if there's any other ones I missed. Looks like I missed that one. Inside lines go down. You can add any other lines you want, even if they don't line up with points, but that's just kind of where they would naturally be. Like there's a lot going on right here. This looks like it would be kind of folded in. There's not really a point to show it. I don't know. Something like that. Okay. Looks like a good start. Alright. Now the next piece I'm going to do are the little filaments and anthers surrounding this middle part, and they're really just like little wispy hairs with like a little dot at the top of them, a little round dot, and on the outside of them is kind of a jagged layer. And when you look at a picture of a poppy, this outer layer is going to be kind of purpley, and these little filaments are going to be black. So I'll probably start, since I made it huge, I'm just going to go like this to signify that that's where the purple is going to be. Erase that, and that gives me a border to not go past really for my filaments. Okay, and then I'm just going to start drawing little wisps, little black wisps is what they're going to be. They're just gray right now, obviously. Oops, no wisp there. And here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go put those little round heads on them. Apparently I need to sharpen my pencil. And really this is going to be a tiny detail, so it's not going to matter too much in the long run, but at least you know it's there. Something like that. Maybe even put more in later in between that don't have the round part at the top. Okay, so we're here. Sorry. Phone call. And if you want to put like a stem coming down, you can. I probably will. Right, so now it is a big version of that one, and I like it. So now we gotta use the oil pastels. So quickly, I'm gonna kinda go through how I would do it. I would start with the darkest parts first on the petals, and so what I would actually do, even though I'm doing it in an orange poppy, I would take red, because I only have one shade of orange and I want to mix it with that red so that it really is beautiful. Actually, you know what? I'm kind of thinking that this needs to go up higher. So excuse me while I make a little alteration to my plan. There we go. My petals look a little more proportionate now. Same lines, I just made it a little bit taller. Alright, so what I would do is go in and do the dark parts first, and what that's going to look like is the creases that you see. Because you want those to stand out and look darker, obviously. And then kind of on the inside, you're going to have, you know, roughly this area of darker part of orange anyway, so I'm going to kind of sketch that out so I know what I'm doing here. So red lines, and then this part in here I'm going to make pretty dark red. And this is my oil pastel, my red oil pastel. And I'll go back over it with orange to kind of blend it in a little bit, but right now I'm just going to do red. Okay, so I'm looking at my photo to see where there's some dark points of red. So inside of here is a little dark, but really dark right here. So I'm gonna put, this is like a solid red right here. There's so many folds, it's hard to figure out where you want to focus the energy. This is going to be a really dark red right here. And then down here is going to be really dark too. Not these little drips would be highlights. So this is kind of a medium orange, so I'm going to leave those alone. Let me go over here, and this area at the bottom of these slopes is pretty dark. Trying to figure out where I am here. So this way. Okay, so we got some red. lines are going to be red. And now that more that I look at this, I think that there's a lot more random lines in here than it looks like. Sorry, I'm pausing to try and make sure I do this right. So this is the first, second point seems to be like one of the brightest points in the whole thing, so I'm going to contrast it by adding some red underneath it so it really pops. So leave a V shape right there without anything on it. And then down here it's going to be pretty dark. And it looks to me like the folds of the ruffles are pretty dark too. And then inside here is pretty dark. Okay, let me see. It's not as dark on these outer sides, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the lines towards the center, where it would naturally be a little bit darker. Okay, I'm thinking that's probably about it for my red. Maybe a little bit more right here. Alright, so I've done basically the lowest part of the petals. I've done the lines, and then some other points that I thought might be good spots to put some dark points. Maybe even right here would be a good spot. And I'm going to go back in with my orange and start coloring and blending these colors together. And I would say there's some outlines that are more yellow on these drips, so you could kind of go in with some yellow too. And really a lot of yellow right here. So I changed my mind, obviously. I'm going with the yellow instead of the orange for this part. I just want to make sure that the highlighted pieces kind of stand out. Okay, so now I can go back with my orange. I'll probably go back again with my yellow in a bit. Now, that orange mixes with the red really well. You can already start to see those folds coming out. So hopefully you can kind of see how it's blending with that red. And you could always go back and add some more red, like say if you wanted those to show up a little better. But I think so far it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna do these outer layers. There's a little highlight on the top, and I'll probably go back with white for that, for those highlights. Oops, I lost my red. Kind of threw it too far. Go back in later and fill in all of those holes so it doesn't have those white pieces. Keep it like this. Okay. This piece right here really is a yellow color, so I'm going to leave that kind of yellow. Got these little bitty highlights here. And there's a couple out here too that I want to be careful to include. Just to remind myself, I'm going to go ahead and color those. There's a lot of orange. Go ahead and just stick with just a couple more lines in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back in, whoops, and fill in those holes the best that I can, so there's no white. I think I used the wrong kind of paper, so it's not getting in there as well as I'd like. Almost done with the orange. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the reds and the shadows. I might like to go back in with a white to kind of blend these light spots a little bit better, to show those highlights, because they're not showing up as good as I'd like. There's definitely some highlights down here. Okay, so I'm just, let me see, any more highlights? Any place that you really want to just look lighter, you could go in with white. Maybe the tips of each of these petals might be nice to do a little tiny bit of contrast. I don't really see much out here that I need to do that too, but alright, I'm kind of happy with the orange. So, then we're going to go into the middle and work on that. So what I would do first probably is maybe I'll layer this pink, and it looks like underneath, on the bottom of this ball in the center, is kind of this pink color. I'm just going to do like a light pink, blend it with the white in a little bit. And then it goes to like a darker pinkish color. And then it goes to kind of a white in the middle. So blending how I wanted to. But I want to do the background first and then put the seeds on the top instead of vice versa, so it will work better. Okay, I'm going to clean some of the orange off of my white pastel here. So the top part of this is just white. Use that pink or that white to blend my pink a little better too. Can't even see my little black filaments anymore, but it's okay. Alright, so then I'm trying to see what color these are. They're kind of like a reddish purple. So what I'll probably do here is peel back my pastel just a little bit. And color those, and I think I'm going to add like a bluish purple on top to see if that helps seed pods to work better. And they kind of have like a thing that goes down. Oop. I did a very good job here. Oopsie. Alright, so then here's like that purpley indigo color. Yeah, that'll work. Again with the red. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that alone for a little bit. So now I'm going to go with the purple and kind of do this background piece. We're going to go over it with black, so I guess in a second I'm going to mix it with that indigo color to give it like a purpley, dark purpley color. Oop. Looks like I missed a spot with my petals right there. Oops. Okay, so this is kind of a purpley color. There we go, that looks better. I'm probably going to go back over this with the white so it mixes better. Or the purple. That looks much better. Alright, that's kind of the purple I was looking for. A darker but periwinkle color. Okay, now we're going to go back in with the black. and add those filaments, which I know is going to be annoying because it's hard to get that. It's like eyelashes. It's like drawing a lot of eyelashes. I'm going to go back and do the dots on the top of some of them, so okay. I'm not liking how white that is, so I'm going to go back and add some more pink to it. The white is too much. We're about done here. Now, I want to talk about the background. It would really pop if you did some kind of a blue background behind this. You don't have to, but you could. So that might be something you can do. I'm going to go over around the outside of these curves because you can't see them very well. It seems like. I think I'd rather have them a little bit highlighted with the orange and the red. There we go. You can see it a little bit better on the screen. Alright, and that's about it for your poppy. Just go fill in all the white spaces you can find. And I think there's a little bit more orange. Okay, and then you can go back and do a stem if you want. And I would probably just do your basic, like kind of an olive green color. Maybe go back in with a lighter green. And if you want to do a background, I would recommend something like a bright blue or even a purple color like this purple. And it would be beauty-miss. Alright, thank you so much. And please upload your project to Artsonia when you're done. Okay, bye.